Hello, everyone, and welcome to our session at Relearn, the Learning Festival. We're really happy to have you in our session, which is called Studio-Based Learning, Explored, Build, Test, and Repeat. It's going to be facilitated by me, Georgi Panayotov, and we're going to have an interview with Joan Urgell, and we're going to briefly introduce ourselves, and then we're going to go into the actual interview. My name is Georgi, and I am originally from Bulgaria. I'm a learning guide and program lead of one of the programs here at Learnlife that is for the oldest kids between 16 and 18 years old. What they do is they benefit a lot from the studio model that we're going to be talking about today, where they go and try and build and test different ideas for projects or for their future careers. And today we have the great chance to talk to Joan Urgell and hear from him as a studio manager and as a founder of this studio model. What does it entail? But first of all, Joan, if you can present yourself, please.
Well, thank you very much, Georgi, and welcome everyone to this Relearn chat. My name is Joan, and I have a background on industrial design and sculpture. I've been participating as a artist in residence in different schools for the last 5 years, and since like 2 years ago, I'm working here at Learnlife, as Georgi said, and yeah, that's pretty much who I am.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Joan. So before we go into details with the interview, I would like to show you a short video that our colleagues created. All right, enjoy.
On a 3D printer, learners can quickly design, prototype, and create experiences. These are all experiential elements of their learning.
Well, the problem that we're solving is this. Basically, we don't want it to be tangled so it doesn't destroy the cable. We want to create like a piece that can be replaced.
I love 3D printing because it allows me to turn concepts and ideas into something physical that I can play around with and I can experience for myself.
3D printer plays a crucial role in the learning activity. I think that this would give most of the learners the ability to innovate and expand and advance more, and that's what actually is the role of a learning space, right?
Welcome back after the video. It was amazing to see one of these experiences, which was the 3D printing and how it is used in Learnlife. But before we go into specifics, I would like to ask Joan what the studio model is and what is actually entailing.
Well, thanks, Georgi. So the studio model is based on physical spaces that are thematic labs that we have distributed in our learning center. And within each of those thematic labs, different learning experiences can happen, such as more facilitator-led activities, more learner-led activities, more learner self-paced activities, meaning learners doing personal projects or learners going to workshops that are like led by someone else. And the aim is to go very hands-on, like tinkering, experimenting, get exposed to different things, fail, iterate, and all this range of more non, let's say, regulated approach.
All right. You named that there are different labs. Can you tell us which are the spaces on the first point? And then can you tell us also how did you set all of those spaces?
Sure. So the spaces we have a music lab. We have a multimedia studio. Actually, you are in the music lab. We have a multimedia studio equipped with all the like Macs and Adobe Suite and so on. We also have a food lab. We have a digital and carpentry lab where I'm in now. We have like a more fine arts, visual arts space, fashion studio, and then we have the electronics and robotics space, which also has a science spot on it. Yeah, and the way we set them up was basically we partnership with different companies that they support us, and then we had this initial vision, and we brought in some experts that support us on building up that vision and scaffolding up that vision, and then we partnered with these companies to get like the best equipment we could, and yeah, so on.
Cool. And once you set these spaces up, who are actually the people who are leading things? Because you said that there are two different things, right? Self-led activities, but also you mentioned something about workshops. Who are the people who are doing workshops in cooking, in music, in multimedia? Who are those creatures?
Yes. So one of our initial ideas is that, so we want to connect, so we want our hub to be a kind of like to act as a hub, and to be kind of a tool that can support and create synergies within our local ecosystem. So we're based in Barcelona, and what we aim for is that professionals from the city, that they are like experts in their fields, in their disciplines, can come here a few hours a week and develop workshops. So these are what we call the studio experts, and just people that they don't make their living out of education and learning, but in their different fields, such as like fashion. We have a DJ here. We have a PhD, like a electronics researcher. We have like visual artists and so on, and they come a few hours a week and they deliver workshops for the kids.
That's amazing. And what do you think that it's the benefit for the kids from that?
Well, I think on one side, so we have the newest staff. It's like, as they are very connected to their professional field, like what's new on their field, they'll bring it in, and it's a way to be for our center to be self-actualized in a very like regular basis, and also for the kids having a role model, so having someone that actually makes their living in these disciplines. They see them as a role model, and they're very, very engaged. And yeah, also these people can connect us with many other institutions that we are not aware of, research centers and so on. And yeah, it's kind of, it broadens our mind, let's say.
Now that you mentioned the learners, can you tell us a little bit what are the different ways for your learners to engage with the studios?
So the idea is that we created, so the ultimate goal for us is that the learners can access the spaces on their own and create their individual projects. In order to do that in a way that it's safe for them, we created a set of prescribed learning experiences that are gamification based, gamified, and that we call the levels. So you get to go through these levels, and you unlock tools. So the tools are locked, and you cannot access the studios, but by doing these tasks and challenges and so on, you get access to the studios, access to tools, and then it's like that you enable them and you can activate them and use them to do your projects. So this is one side, which is learner self-paced and learner-led. And on the other side, we have the workshops, which are offered in a monthly basis and are led by the studio experts. So these are the two main ways to engage with the studios.
I've heard something from you, because I know that you're developing right now the 3D printing studio, and that there is one learner that is much more advanced than the levels. And I've heard that you guys are right now in a process of co-creation. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so that is so a very good example of, because what we've done is that we created pedagogical pathways, levels for each one of the studios. But what happens when a group of learners or learners have more interest that is not structured yet by us, by the learning team, right? So in this case, we offer the opportunity to a learner specifically to co-create one of these pathways. And this is great because it means that the whole system, the whole studio model is self-regenerating and self-building. And also we're kind of growing up this agency on learners and ownership. So they care about their learning, and they want to kind of give to the community back. So that's very, very like a very good outcome.
Yeah, that's amazing to see this engagement of your learners for themselves and actually giving back, as you were saying. That's cool. All right. It's very interesting to hear all of that. And I'm wondering if you have something around yourself or some examples that you can showcase so we can bring it a little bit more to the tangible. Because what you guys are doing in the studios, it's like very tangible outputs, right? So do you have some examples that you can bring so we can understand a little bit better?
Okay, so this is one cabinet for one storage unit the learners created on the carpentry workshop by using the CNC digital tool we have in space. These are some pictures of the eatable output learners created on the cooking workshop. So it was like I think 3-4 weeks ago. These are some captures of the fashion studio. These are the multimedia outputs. This is like some horticulture and pictures the learners from multimedia took. Multimedia as well. This is also multimedia. So here we have an example of how to document. So this learner, Jago, created a name tag, then sent a video explaining to the mentor, to the learning guide, the reason why he chose green color, the reason why he chose this typography, the reason why like he chose these sizes and so on. And then he sent it. Afterwards, the learning guide will provide feedback in a synchronous way using a Google Doc. This project here is 3D modeling and 3D printing, and we've done it during the confinement here in Barcelona. It was pretty cool because we used a digital collaboration tool, as you can see at the top picture, and then we came up with a physical object. And it's kind of, I don't know, interesting how to the learners work that skill of online collaboration. These are other outputs that we created during confinement using 3D printers, some Arduino robotics here. This is a session a learner ran, like a learner facilitated session. And so this learner was explaining to his peers how a 3D printer works, and he proposed a bridge challenge. So now we're gonna see pictures of this. So this is a sequence of when we've done the bridge testing to see how much weight the bridges could hold. It was actually very, very fun.
And last but not least, I have a question of the fact that they're creating these amazing things. How do you celebrate the kids for that? Where do you exhibit or do you expose this work? Because it's amazing that you put it already in the practice and the whole studios are already with things that they created, but do you do something specific in order to exhibit their work?
Yeah, so what we do is that usually in a bi-weekly basis, so every 2 weeks, what we do is showcases. And in each one of the showcases, so the learners have the chance to present individually or by groups, as they prefer, the outputs they created. And then we have more of a formal showcase / presentation by cycle. So this means every 3 months. Mm-hmm. And that's also a chance for the learners to show what they've done. Mm-hmm. So before, on the previous question, you were talking about this idea of iteration and continuating something that you started. And I think this is very, very, very interesting when you actually create products, because sometimes as a learner, you can do a project and you forget about this. It's done. You deliver it and you forget. Instead of, if you actually created, I don't know, this stool or a lamp or whatever, and you use it in your learning center every day, maybe in 3 months will fail, or maybe in a year will fail. So actually this gives you this perspective and chance to revisit constantly, and creates this idea of, how do you call it? Rhizomatic idea of revisiting and revisiting and revisiting again. So the quality of the output improves and your learning gets deeper and deeper.
Thank you very much. It was really informative. And now we're going to go to our Q&A session, and we're going to have what our guests would like to ask us. Okay.
Thank you, Georgi. Thanks. See you in the Q&A.